Hey everybody, welcome to the LEGENDVEST podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Gavin. Today we're going to be talking about the highs and the lows of entrepreneurship. So I know you guys may be wondering, especially for those of you who are just starting in your business, maybe you already have your startup up and running, maybe you're working a 9-to-5 and you're thinking about, creating that side hustle. I want to talk to you about some of the realities of entrepreneurship. So here's the thing, you guys, being an entrepreneur, let's be honest, it's awesome because you get to create your own schedule. You are your own boss, right? And you get to do pretty much whatever you want to do, right? For the most part, on the surface. However, here's the truth about entrepreneurship. It takes real work. It takes real sacrifice. And there's a lot of things that people don't see behind closed doors. It's very much over glamorized on Instagram, on social media, right? Because we see somebody that we know selling t-shirts, they got over 200,000 followers, and you're thinking, well, heck, I can do the same thing too, right? Sure, you probably could, right? I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you yes or no. So, however, how do you know if that's something that you can do? How do you know if that's right for you? Just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that when you do it, you're going to get the same result. So here's the thing, like I said earlier, entrepreneurship, it takes real work. And unfortunately on social media, we make it look a little too easy. So here's the thing, I want you to be realistic about your vision and your goals. It always goes back down to your vision. What do you want out of life, right? Are you looking to grow your career and manage a team? You can do that on a job. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to do that. Do you want to be totally your own boss, be autonomous, working on your own time, on your own schedule, kind of like a freelancer, providing services or selling a product? Then entrepreneurship may be right for you. But here's the thing, you guys, overall, I just want you to know that one way or the other, it's going to take work, right? It's not that, being an entrepreneur or having a career, one is easier than the other or one is better than the other. You can be very successful doing both things. I know that in the last 10, 15 years, there's been this whole entrepreneur movement, which I think is great that we're finally talking about other options besides getting a job. And I'm excited for my son and our future kids if they want to become an entrepreneur. And since my husband and I are entrepreneurs, that's something that we can, train them and instill in them, that it's something that they can definitely do. And that's something you can do too. And I'm really excited that we live in a time where we have so much opportunity. But I also want you to know it is completely okay to work a job. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with getting that steady paycheck every 2 weeks, right? I think what I want you all to understand is that even at a job, nothing's guaranteed, right? Nothing's guaranteed for anybody. Whether you got 100 customers today or whether you're working at, the post office for the last 10 years, at any point, all of it can be gone, right? It can all vanish at any moment. So that goes for anybody doing anything. So I want you to understand that. It's not that one is more secure than the other. It really boils down to, what are you passionate about? Are you going to be okay staying up late, 3, 4, 5 a.m., working 24 hours a day? Literally. I mean, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who've done that, myself included. And it's, like I said, it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. You're eating a lot of, pizza late at night. And, your work-life balance, especially in the very beginning stages as an entrepreneur, is totally out of whack. You pretty much live, eat, and sleep the business. I'm not gonna lie. And because you're the only one building this thing. So keep that in mind. You don't have, or you may not have, other employees, you may not have somebody else or a partner. You may or may not. So a lot of times all of that stress and burden is gonna fall on your shoulders. So, there's a lot that encompasses being an entrepreneur. Are you gonna be a good leader? Are you gonna be able to hire and fire staff when you need to? Can you lead people? Can you stay up late when your workers don't show up? Guess who has to do the job? You do. When your customer doesn't Guess who has to flag them down and call and try to collect the debt? I mean, there's there's a lot that goes into being an entrepreneur. But I will say, if you're willing to take risks, if you're willing to sacrifice, work hard, stay up late, not party, miss a lot of birthdays from time to time because you're so focused on your mission, if you're okay with working with people and building people up, because at some point you're going to have to build your power team at some point as you grow your business. If you're okay with having those tough conversations, if you're okay with pitching your idea, to thousands of people, if you're okay with hearing thousands of no's. I mean, guys, it takes some serious, it's a mental game. It takes a lot of hard work, sacrifice, perseverance, persistence, a lot of self-talk. It's a lot of work. And not to say building a career isn't a lot of work either, but you can definitely coast a lot easier working a 9-to-5. Let's just be real, right? But But for the most part, entrepreneurship does take work. But don't get me wrong, you can definitely reap the benefits of being an entrepreneur. You can wake up whenever you want to wake up. You set your hours, right? You hire who you want to hire. You sell the product or service that you want to sell. If you want to make the business cards purple today, it's purple. If you want to change your website, you could do it right now in 5 minutes. So what's nice is you are completely in control, and whatever your vision is, you can bring it to life. The downside about being in a career is that, you may not have a whole lot of control or say unless you're the owner or the CEO or something of that nature, where you have that leadership and that power. But probably for the most part, if you do have power, it's still very limited. You can't just change everything and change the brand name, tomorrow, like I said, unless you own it. So you do have some limitations in a career, but don't get me wrong, you can still have a very fulfilling life, whether it's in a career or as a business owner. It's really going to depend on who you are and what you want to do and what you envision your life to be. If you want something steady, if you want to grow within a company, and maybe you're like, you know what? I'm all about working in a startup, but I just don't want to take on the risk as the owner. I want to help build a startup. There are lots of startups that are looking for people like that to be on their crew, on their team, their startup team, to help build the company. You don't have to necessarily be the owner, but sometimes they'll give you, rights to the company, or they may even be willing to give you stock and things like that. Especially if you're like part of the founding team. Absolutely, that's very, very possible. The biggest thing here, you guys, is stay true to yourself. If you know right and well that entrepreneurship is right for you, then don't be an entrepreneur. That's okay. That's okay. I'm here to tell you, you do not need to be an entrepreneur to be successful. I'm telling you right now, okay? That's a myth. That's a facade. Everybody thinks that, they can be a girl boss, whatever, and that's fine. I don't mind that people can think that, but don't try to be something you're not just because you saw someone on Instagram doing it. They pulled out of a Rolls Royce, which they probably rented, or at least, it's not even something they probably own. And now we're trying to keep up with other people. So stay true to yourself, you guys. That's really the biggest thing. Entrepreneurship, like I said, is great, but so are careers. Careers can be great too. So it really just depends on what you want to do, where you're going, making sure that regardless whether you're building a business or if you're in a career, that you're with people that you like to be around, that lift you up, that it's a positive and inspiring environment so that you can be your best self. So I hope this helps. Thanks for tuning in today, you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. If this podcast helped you, be sure to let me know in the comments, and please give us a thumbs up. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon.